Probably next week. So we are almost done with this chapter. Test probably next week, maybe the week after. It kind of depends on how review goes.
Jason, all you want to do is fight.
All right. So we are going to be dividing exponents today, and it's really not super tough because we've already basically done this. So I'll let you guys guess. If I have x to the 5 over x squared, what do you think we do with the exponents?
Multiply.
We subtract them. So when you divide exponents, subtract the bottom exponent from the top. So there are no, and make sure there's no negative exponents. So x to the 5th over x squared is really x to the 5 minus 2, which is really x to the 3rd. And then I don't need to do anything else because I don't have a negative exponent. So I'm done. So we're going to keep going with some of these. If I have x squared over x to the 4, I have x to the 2 minus 4, which is x to the negative 2. But I don't want any negative exponents, so I got to flip it. Put it on the bottom. Yeah. Put 1 on top, and I'm going to have x squared on the bottom, like that. 1 over x squared. Delia, take your headphones off. Delia, take your headphones off.
Take your headphones off, broski.
Delia.
Harvey, now you can act like
Now we can't listen to music.
All right, on this middle one.
This is the best one.
Shut up.
No, I can get some done.
Why do you like that
So you
thing?
guys fine.
Because it's
All right,
fun.
same thing on this one. X to the 7 over x. Magi, what exponent does x have?
Just say it because
Let me
it's
demonstrate.
Right there. No,
Huh?
no. It's fine. What exponent does x have right there?
I don't trust Moses.
What?
Hey, mine, the
Right.
2's up there, so I'm gonna go ahead and go 0. One.
So x to the 7 over x to the 1 is going to be x to the 7 minus 1,
So it goes here.
which is x to the 6. All right.
Oh, I knew it was 1.
Hey,
I said 1.
what if I saw it again? It's fine. Like 30
So you
seconds
never
ago.
trust Moses.
Come on.
Well, I never gave you the
Come on,
wrong
man.
answer.
Break
It was, yeah, it's at all.
You guys are bad
Trust
today.
you.
You always ask me for answers. What are you talking about?
So you
That
should
was
be
when I
focused.
sat by you.
Got
You
laser
still think
focus.
you
I don't even know why I'm
You're like,
going
All
I
right.
still did my
And
work.
then this last one, x to the 6 over x to the 0 is just x to the 6 minus 0 is x to the 6.
Then again, we'd be cold about
Pretty easy now.
I like this.
They're all X's.
What's 6 minus 0?
Oh no.
Oh, that's how
You
it
guys
works.
were
I thought it was a question.
Alright, let's have you guys try one. Oh, that's right. I forgot I was going to show you this one first.
That was scary.
Alright, on this one, the reason this works is if, so I had x to the 5th over x squared. If I were to put this x squared back on top, like if it were to start out there, that would be an x to the negative 2, right? Whenever you flip, you change the sign. Normally we get rid of negative, but if I wanted to get rid of it and put it back up top, it would change to a negative 2. And whenever we multiply things, we really add the exponents. So 5 plus negative 2 is 3. So that's how this works. It's like, instead of dividing, we are really saying, oh, I'm going to put this x to the 2 up top, make it x to the negative 2, and then I'm going to add my exponents like I did before.
Go if you want to.
But why would we do that?
I'm just showing you why it works.
Oh.
This is just why it works.
That's why it works,
Cool
James.
app I downloaded.
Sometimes, so, I don't do this very much, but a lot of math involves proofs, proving to you guys why something works.
Are you kidding?
I don't do those very much because it's a lot to follow sometimes, and we don't have enough time to go through the proof and learn how to use it. So we usually just learn how to use it without doing it. But sometimes if they're kind of easier to get you guys familiar with them, it is. What was this, Luis?
Hey, I'm just trying to sleep.
You should be taking notes because they're worth points. All right, first in class problem. Simplify this one or make it random.
Shut up. You got it.
All right, simplify. Yeah, almost exactly
Says the
like
bottom
that.
the negative?
Nope.
I'm going to go
Ain't about negative. It's just x3.
Look, you got my toy back at the end of the class.
You don't bother me.
I'll,
If bother me, you get back at the end of the day.
Lee, shut up.
I give you 15 more seconds.
Pencil.
Peasy lemon squeezy, Mr. Some of the back.
You gotta do this.
Huh?
You gotta do this.
That arm's gonna hurt your arm.
It's because you didn't know.
Finish that.
You would have cried.
All right, we're going over this one. Ruben, what do we get? Huh? What do we get after we solve this one? What? Yep. We simplify this, we get x to the second. Not super tough. Let's go 5 minus 3. That was pretty easy, but as I hope you've noticed, it does get a little tougher. We add more stuff on. So we're going to add some more stuff on. But it's not really any different. It's just going to get a little tougher. So far we just did nice, easy ones. This time around we're doing tougher ones. So we're going to simplify 10a to the third b to the fifth over 2a squared b squared.
Oh, this is easy.
So we've basically done this before. We're going to take our regular numbers, we're going to put the regular numbers together and either divide or reduce them. So we're going to take our regular numbers and divide or reduce, just kind of depending on what it looks like. So if I have 10 over 2, can I divide that?
Yes.
Yep, what do I get when I divide that? 5.
You get
So I'm
5.
putting together the 10 and the 2 right here. I'm just going to divide them, and I get 5. After you take care of your regular numbers, match up the same variables. So I'm going to put together A and A. Put those two together. Put those two together.
Those two together.
So I'm going to have A to the 3 minus 2.
Una.
And if you guys can do this part in your head, you don't need to write this down. I'm just not skipping steps.
So we do 10 divided by 2.
Okay, hush, man. Alright, so I put my A's together. I'm also going to put my B's together. B to the 5, B to the 5th over B squared is B to the 5 minus 2. And we just got to go through and simplify. And I don't need to do anything with the 5. It's just going to chill out here in front. I have A to the 3 minus 2 is A to the 1. And if it's to the 1 power, you don't actually need to write it. So you can go A1 or you can just leave it as an A. Doesn't matter either way.
You get 5 times 8 times.
And then I've got B to the 5 minus 2 is 3. And do I have any negative exponents or anything? No, so I'm done. That's my
That
final
was easy,
answer.
Mr. Bookie.
Jeez, Miss Golly.
All day.
All day now.
Alright. We're going to do 1 or 2 more of these, then you guys are going to do a couple. So we're going to do part C, and I'm just going to write it so it's a little bit bigger. It is k to the 6 j squared over k j to the 5th.
Now me, then.
8.
I was why are you looking at me?
You guys over there were talking.
Yeah, Jason.
Luis.
Sorry, Goki.
I'll start giving out strikes on Goki.
Shut up,
You're
Major.
about to get one too first. Still talking to me after I told Luis not to talk.
Yeah.
Oh.
Alright. So just like before, we're going to match up the same variables. I don't have any numbers in front to match up, so that doesn't really matter. So I'm going to match up k with k. I'm going to go k to the 6 minus 1. And then I'm going to match up j with j. I'm going to have j to the 2 minus 5.
That's a 6.
Yeah.
I thought that was an 8. Not bad.
That looks nothing like an
Alright, so I have k to the 5th. Then I got j to the 2 minus 5 is negative 3. But I'm not quite done. I don't want any negative exponents, so I'm going to simplify just by flipping the j to the bottom. So I got k to the 5th over j to the 3rd. Remember, just the j has the negative exponent, so it's going to flip. The k is going to stay on top.
Good.
Yeah, gotta be careful because k doesn't have a negative, so it's they're separated. Even though we're writing together, they're separated. All right, next day class problem. I want you to do part D right here in the box, and somebody's gonna do it on the board for us. So do part D on the board.
No, that's only the times.
you add those, so it'd be -6.
Let me see cookies, Mark. Wait,
That's what I did at first, but like, I don't know, I'm just trying to make sense.
no, we have to do the X's together. See, like,
Okay.
so it'd be 4 minus 4, which is what?
Oh, I was adding.
Yeah.
My bad.
Yeah. These aren't super tough. There's just a lot to remember. So you gotta remember, oh, when you multiply, you add the exponents. When you divide, you subtract the exponents. And
Wait, go get
none of that's really tough. Just remembering what exactly to do is kind of annoying. What's up, Billy?
what, isn't it a negative? You have to flip it over.
Yep.
These ones, so they still do your plus thing, you know, when you negative by.
Oh, do we do E now?
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna.
You want us to do E?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, you want us to do it? I'm gonna do it.
Yep.
So
I'm not-
that's a negative.
You want us to
just
do
flip
E?
them. Right here, so negative, subtract a negative. What is that?
It's a minus -5, right?
Yeah, so
minus
would that be?
negative.
What
But
do you
it's still 8.
Yeah,
So it's -1 plus.
that's what I thought, so it'd be
Okay.
Okay, do we do E?
Yeah, you're doing that one next. I'll just take them one at a time. Did somebody have a name over here? Okay, just a minute. All right, we're gonna have somebody do this one on the board, and we pick number. Nobody's at the desk. Number. Oh, Moses, it's you.
Oh my god, dude.
Number 1. Number 1.
You mean D?
Yeah, the part D on the board. Moses is gonna do part D on the board for us, and then we'll move to part E. If you haven't started it yet, do that
I
together.
think I get this. I want to see if I'm right.
I don't even know if it's
So we have 8
You're getting pretty loud with that.
minus
5, right? Unless you want to go ahead and do addition. Minus -1.
This one?
no, we got 8
So if you flip those, it'd be A, 8, right?
How did you?
Nope.
Nope,
Nope, I'm bleeding. No,
Need
I don't want to do it on my fingers.
So
we can just have this.
The circle looks like a pear.
We don't have to have like.
Alright, so we get A to the -8 and B to the 5th. Then we gotta take care of that negative on our 8. Alright, if you haven't yet, start on part E. Start on part E.
I thought we were on party.
So it has to be top and bottom. You did that.
Go keys, my man.
How did you get that?
Mr. Golki?
Yeah, Moses, how did you get that?
I got it
Yep.
right.
I got it right.
Okay, so
Stop your
see how it's
Wait, so are we
-3
supposed to have
minus
this top and bottom like
So
that?
-3.
So it can't be side by side like this?
No, because
Wait, how do you-
-8, right?
Even if this
You don't
is
add
a
them
negative.
anymore.
No, if it wasn't a negative, you would. But because that's a negative. we
Dude, I
have to-
added
No,
all
no,
of
no,
them.
that's not my question.
It's
So
pretty
we
much
have to have
Pretty
it.
sure
I
that was
subtracted the bottom.
Wait, Golki, I got a question. How would I answer? Oh, wait.
Dang,
are you talking-
baby.
Oh, my.
I did.
Would it be what? Would it be it? Because anything's a 0.
So is that right?
I got a big
Bad,
ass
bad.
bruise on my leg.
Nope, the whole thing's
I
not
felt
not
that.
X. It's just
Playing
1.
with that.
What's the other one?
We're playing basketball.
Just one.
Okay, so it'll be
Because X to the 0 is just 1. Anything to the 0 power. 15 to the 0 equals 1. Y to the 0 equals 1. Anything to 0 is 1. 2 to the 6 is 1.
And we were
Oh.
against the bump, and you like weren't even phased.
Yeah.
Dude, that hurt so bad.
Yeah, that's why.
Can't do you want to?
Yeah, so good.
Negative
You
1
good.
minus negative 5 minus negative 6. So really it's negative 1 plus 1.
Yeah, but not
So really,
as
if you
bad.
want to I still
So,
don't get it
how are we
now.
supposed to put like a line over this? Like, we just
On this one,
Everything
do
went
you have any negative exponents?
No.
Like completely.
So that's your answer.
Like,
Oh,
I closed my eyes and
Although, one thing.
Well, that's what I was asking over here.
Went up the
Or
floor.
mining.
That's not going in.
Then my fucking eye couldn't see straight.
And then on this one,
So then I got.
what's 8 minus
And it hurt like just to open it, like because it like You
So
should've
this one was a
thought
plus
about
because negative 1
You
minus
stayed there
negative
on-
5.
Yeah, and you stayed
So
there
only
on-
negatives like this is pluses.
Only when it's a negative on top. It's because it's
How
a
long
minus
were we
negative.
there?
Minus a
So
negative.
before, like the ending of my game.
Because they're both negatives, so you just add them. And negative 1 plus negative 1.
Yeah, I remember.
Mr. Galky, I
Check
think
it
why
out. I remember being like,
Yeah.
why negative
I
three?
got negative
Yeah, well, you put 5 to
Then
3
you
in
add
there.
those two.
the scan.
So then
Did I
negative
did I
6,
just
right?
sleep the rest of the time?
Well, can I use the
You
restroom?
add negative, it goes back to a positive.
Like,
Oh.
I'm all watching. When you were laying on the bed after.
But it's a negative 1
After I got
plus 5.
scanned?
Before and after.
I don't remember hitting. Okay, I don't remember. Yeah, I don't remember keeping it after. But I remember keeping it before.
You wanna do this next one on the board too?
No.
Pretty sure you break up.
Ah, Major, why'd you hit me with that?
Well, I feel like one, like,
Mr. Goki, don't let him.
All right, we're gonna have somebody do this last one on the board real quick. Just give you some space.
He has another one, Goki.
You have 2 of these?
No, Mr. Galky, I don't.
He just hit
All
me.
I got is a lizard one that can't reach that far.
He just hit me with that.
It's for short range. Like if I wanted to hit Beto, I'd hit him with it. But
Why would you want to hit Beto? It's weird, man.
exactly, I don't want to hit Beto. I hit Luis, but I don't got my long range one.
All right, Lily, do this second one on the board for us.
Mr. Galky.
You're so close, Jason.
Maybe next time. Why does it always go close to me, but never me?
Because it's haunting you. My calculator is haunting you.
One's for short range.
Didn't I get it last time and then I
Shot
was
that.
asleep?
You don't want me to hang on to that?
Where am I vinegar?
probably turn it off.
It's for short range. I got my long left.
All right. You got this one, Lily?
Yeah.
Alright,
that one.
You just want me to write the answer?
Oh,
You just want to fight.
All right. Hey, hush. Check your answer with Lily. It's gonna be the same thing.
Can you taste
Just
that?
write the answer.
That's wrong.
Ken's Lilith.
Okay.
Can you taste that sneeze?
What?
It's a 4.
Alright.
That's a 4.
That looks like an A.
Gross.
Lily, she's right there.
She's right there.
Alright, y to the 4, z to the 7. Yep. What happened with the x's, Lily?
Out to the X. Oh yeah,
No, I'm asking you, what happened to them?
It turned into a 1
Because?
because it's x to the 0.
Yep. So we go 4 minus 4, we get x to the 0. Anything to the 0 is really 1. So if you want to, you could write the 1 in front, but it doesn't matter. So 1 in front doesn't really matter, so Lily didn't even write it, which is fine.
Oh, sorry.
Alright, we got one last slide of notes, then we're done.
You serious, Mr. Goki?
Yep.
Well, I was best.
Would have been a lot quicker if you guys didn't mess around as much.
Just like
No, it wasn't. Easy now.
Alright, so shush, last slide of notes, then we're done.
So what?
Shush.
your B looked like an 8.
You heard me many times.
Shut up, nigga.
Okay, we're going to find the simplified form of, in parentheses, z to the 4th over 5, and then outside parentheses to the 3rd power. So, this is kind of a combination of what we did yesterday and what we just did. So when I have an exponent, it's like I've got to backwards distribute, right?
Yeah.
And just like yesterday, I've got to do it on everything. So I got to do this 3 to that exponent, and I got to do 3 to this exponent down there. So really, I'm going to have z to the 4 times 3
When you sneeze,
over 5 to the 1 times 3. And then I can simplify these. I'm going to have z to the 4 times 3 is 12 over 5 to the 1 times 3 is 5 to the 3rd. And then because 5 to the 3rd, that 3 is a small exponent, just calculate it. It's going to be z to the 12 over 125.
What's up, Ruben?
Alright, 5 times 5 is 25 times 5.
Goki, when you correct our homework, do you like go through and like
Grade it based on
correct
effort
it,
or
like
right
mark all the
answers?
problems wrong, or do you just
I think about
Bennett
5.
That's why
What?
If you get those 5 problems right, you're good. If you get those 5 problems wrong, you're in trouble.
Really?
Yeah.
So you just do it to see if we know it or not?
Yeah.
So we can do 5.
So like even like
No, I check to make sure you
What
get
if
them
we
all.
get
But I will
four?
check.
What if we get like 4 wrong? Would you take points off our homework?
Yeah. If I check those 4.
Ah.
I check 5 problems, you're guaranteed at least 5 points as long as you do all of it. So even if you completely mess up, you still get half credit. Which helps for a few people actually. A couple people's homework I graded last week.
so
They
like
missed every single one, but they still got 5 points, even though they got them all wrong.
Okay. That making no sense. Okay.
Alright, one more example, then you guys will do one last in-class problem. So if I'm going to find the simplified form of x over x to the 3 and to the second power, I am going to kind of backwards distribute this 2 everywhere. So I'm going to have x to the 1 times 2 over x to the 3 times 2. X to the 1 times 2 is x squared.
I know, I can
Over x
share
to the
with
3
that.
times 2 is
Says
x
that.
to the 6.
Quiet, Delia, please.
But I'm not quite done because Adelia, what do I have to do now?
We are gonna minus 2 and 6.
So after I took care of that exponent on the outside, I'm going to simplify what I can. And I can simplify these x's. I'm going to have x to the 2 minus 6, which is x to the negative 4. But I'm not quite done yet because I got one more thing. What's my last thing? Oh, Jace.
Can't have negatives.
You complain about not getting picked.
You can't have a negative.
Yep, so how do I fix it?
How does it fix it, Jace?
Magi.
Well, I can tell you how to flip it.
Gonna flip it. Put that x to the negative 4 on bottom. When I do that, the negative goes away. But I can't have an empty space in a fraction, so I fill it in with 1. Alright, last in-class problem. Do this one in the box. Simplify a to the 7 over a to the 5th, and then outside those parentheses to the 3rd power.
I already did all those.
And then we're going to have one last person do it on the board. Maybe we'll get lucky, Jace. It'll be you. Yeah.
Mr. Golkey. Never mind, never mind. Wait, I think I know.
Hey, lesson's over right now.
No.
No.
After we're done with this one.
Okay, I'm finished.
Almost.
I'm finished, Goki.
Is it
Now you're gonna wiggle your toes.
Cookie, have you watched Blood In, Blood Out?
Stop touching my toes.
Have you watched Blood In, Blood Out?
I don't think he has been, Jack.
Are you sure, Cookie?
Yeah, wait, go.
Why? I know.
How do you do this?
Well, if they're both the same, you actually move
I forgot to mind
Did you guys get a to the 6th power?
I did, Moses.
Here's Paja.
Did I ask?
So the outside number
So
of
do
each
that,
times
you
the
guys.
inside
Oh,
number.
that's right. Did I say GPS?
So it'd be a to the 21.
Yeah, you
Here's
did.
Paja. Jason's Paja.
Just find
I
the
got
better
an
lady.
X to the 8
And then what after that?
over y to the 4.
Then what after that?
Can I think he's a
Then you
bro.
subtract 20.
So it'd be 8 to the 6 hours? And that's all? That's it?
Almost. Have to go over this. Alright, I'm gonna pick somebody random, do this on the board.
No.
Cookie's on. Nah,
Oh, Magi, it's you.
Millions, we
Ooh, I called it.
Oh, yeah.
Millions
To get rid of the
He's
is more than
Kidding me,
million.
Cookie?
like, you can make trillions. Why make trillions?
Alright, Magi's doing this on the board. Check your answer with his. See if he's right.
like that. Like that.
Or laugh at his handwriting.
When's your guys' game start?
Trillion is more than
Wow, that's so underwhelming.
So,
Alright, how'd you get that, Magi?
he's getting on
You wanna dip?
Look at my fingers.
I really want to watch your guys' whole game.
Got real
You
lucky
never
there.
get to watch the whole
Okay.
fucking game.
I got you, Cookie.
Alright, how'd you do it? Just real quick.
What if we just missed the first quarter?
I like how he's
First quarter.
How long
Or first half.
Hey,
you.
Wait, Ivory, are quarters 7 or 8 minutes?
We'll make it to your second half.
Alright.
Then hold on.
For what?
It's good enough.
Quarters.
And then we
I'll
can.
get a signature.
7 or
You
8.
guys only
God,
played-
don't
you
care.
guys only played
Right?
half a game.
That one's worth the signature.
Yeah,
It's gonna be a
they're gonna
Yeah.
play.
No,
How long
how
is
many
one
minutes
quarter?
is 1 quarter?
This is like half a game.
Alright, that's it. If you haven't yet, start on your exit ticket. I will turn on to crowding and then put your homework on.
Half game today.
Okay, Goki.
That sucks.
Yeah, half a game.
And no music today. You guys lost that.
Okay.
Keep those headphones out.
I thought